You know, I never thought a regular Tuesday shift at Oak Ridge General would flip my whole life upside down like. One minute, I'm just Sarah Jenkins, this overworked nurse in a sleepy Midwest town called Willow Creek, dealing with sprained ankles and flu shots. And the next, I'm staring down a guy who looks like he got dragged through hell on a motorcycle, blood everywhere, tattoos screaming stories I didn't want to hear. But there he was, Mike Harlan, crashing through those ER doors on a stretcher, paramedics yelling about a wipeout on Route 42, his leather jacket shredded like paper, and me, heart pounding, diving in because that's what you do. You don't clock out when someone's fighting for air right in front of you. And man, if I'd known staying late that day would pull me into a world of roaring engines, old grudges, and a brotherhood that treats loyalty like gospel, I might have hesitated. Or maybe not, because sometimes life's biggest turns come when you least expect them. It started simple enough. Mike's this hulking figure, scars like a roadmap of bad decisions, eyes half shut but fierce, whispering something about brothers as I pressed gauze to his split forehead, my hands steady even though inside I was freaking out a bit, wondering if this was some gang thing that'd spill over. The docs stitched him up, monitors beeping steady, and yeah, my shift was over, but I couldn't leave. Call it gut instinct or just plain stubbornness. But he looked so damn alone in that sterile room, chest rising slow, like the fight wasn't over yet. Hours ticked by, sunlight slanting through the blinds, and I sat there wiping his brow, filling charts I'd already done, ignoring the doc-old Dr. Ellis warning me with that furrowed brow, "Sarah, guys like him drag trouble in their wake. Don't get tangled up." But tangled I got, because when Mike stirred, those steel blue eyes locking on mine, he rasped, "You didn't have to stay," and I shrugged, mumbling something about not letting folks fight solo. Stupid, right? But it hit him. I could tell, that faint grin cracking through the pain, like I'd handed him a lifeline he hadn't asked for. Then the rumble hit low at first, like thunder rolling in from the fields, shaking the windows, my stomach dropping as I peeked out and saw him. Dozens of bikes flooding the lot, chrome flashing under the sun, riders in leather cuts with patches that said Thunder Riders, the kind of crew folks in Willow Creek whispered about, outlaws with hearts of gold or fists of fury, depending on who you asked. They stormed the lobby like a wave, boots thumping, air thick with that mix of oil and resolve. And leading him was Viper, this scarred vet with a gaze that could cut glass, zeroing in on me like I held the keys to Mike's fate. "Where's Harlan?" he growled, calm but edged, and I pointed, voice steady despite my knees wobbling. "He's stable, but he needs rest." Viper eyed me real hard, then nodded to his crew. "Nobody touches her. She's one of us now." And just like that, bam, I went from invisible nurse to protected kin in a brotherhood born from road wars and unbreakable bonds. Whispers rippled through the halls, nurses gaping, patients peeking, and me. I felt this rush fear mixed with something electric, like I'd stepped into a story way bigger than my quiet apartment and endless coffee runs. But peace? Nah, that didn't last. The real storm brewed when those sleek black SUVs crept in the next day, idling at the lot's edge, tinted windows hiding guys who screamed trouble, old rivals from Mike's past, the kind fueled by a decade-old beef over territory and a botched deal that left bad blood boiling. I caught him watching, snapping pics maybe, and when I slipped into Mike's room, he was already alert, fist clenched, muttering, "They smell weakness. Always dodettes from the old days, when I took what was theirs to protect my own." Tension built like a slow burn, my rounds feeling heavier, every glance outside pulling at me, until those two goons strode in, sharp suits hiding menace, the taller one sneering at the receptionist, "We're here for Harlan," ignoring her stammered protests as they barreled toward his room. I blocked the door without thinking, heart hammering, but feet planted. "This is a hospital. You can't just barge in." And he leaned close, voice low and oily, "Step aside, nurse, unless you want to be collateral in something that ain't your fight." Oh, the chill that ran through me, but then boomed engines roared back to life outside. A symphony of power as the Thunder Riders swarmed, bikes circling like wolves, Viper at the front, boots planted wide, drawling with that maverick grin. Lost boys. 'Cause if you're sniffing around Mike, you're sniffing around all of yous, and trust me, you don't want that smoke. They bristled, the shorter ones spitting. "This ain't over. Harlan will settle this when your guard dogs ain't around. Mired in that old grudge where Mike had once outmaneuvered him for control of a smuggling route, leaving egos bruised and pockets lighter. But Mike, propped up in bed, shot back rough but steady. I don't hide. And I sure as hell don't fight alone now. Get out before things get ugly. The air crackled, nurses frozen, security useless, until those rivals backed off, cursing under breath, tires screeching away. But Viper turned to me, clapping my shoulder gentle-like. You held the line, Sarah. That's rider blood right there. And in that heartbeat, as engines idled down, I realized the pull. These outlaws weren't just chaos. They were family forged in fire, showing kindness in quiet ways, like one handing a kid a sticker from his pocket, another helping an old lady with her walker, humanizing the myth I'd grown up fearing. Mike and I talked deep into the nights after, him sharing scars from lost brothers, roads that stole pieces of him, me confessing my own loneliness, the endless shifts where no one saw the heart I poured in. And damn if it didn't bind us, his rough hand brushing mine, a silent vow in the dim light. Weeks blurred, Mike healing strong, stepping out with a cane but head high, the riders always shadowing, a living shield against those lurking threats, until that final showdown at dusk on the ridge overlooking Willow Creek. SUVs rolling up bold, those same rivals piling out, the tall one smirking. Time to collect, Harlano Hospital walls to hide behind now, driven by that festering hate, a personal vendetta. 'Cause Mike had once saved a brother they'd targeted, flipping their power play. Engines thundered in response, riders forming a wall of chrome and muscle, Viper stepping forward cool as ice. You boys really want to dance? 'Cause we're all in and she's with us? Nodding at me as I stood firm by Mike, no backing down. The tension snapped like a wire, words flying sharp. You think numbers scare us? One snarled, but Mike, voice gravelly, shot back. Numbers? Nah, it's loyalty and you wouldn't know it if it bit you. They faltered, outnumbered, outhearted, retreating with empty threats, tires kicking dust, leaving us in a haze of victory, the sun dipping gold as Viper pressed a silver thunderbolt pin into my palm, murmuring, You rode through the storm, Sarah. Welcome home. Life shifted after townsfolk staring, some scared, others curious, me riding with Mike now, wind whipping past, arms around him, feeling alive in ways my old routine never touched. Those old enemies still circling maybe, but the riders roar a constant promise. Yet here's the kicker that keeps me up sometimes. Was it right, diving into that world, trading safe invisibility for this fierce belonging? Or did I just swap one cage for another? What do you think? Would you stay for a stranger, stand against the storm, or walk away clean? Drop a comment below, share your take on loyalty versus safety, those community clashes that tear folks apart. Hell, maybe your story's wilder than mine. Hit subscribe if this hit home, and let's keep the conversation rolling because one choice, man, it can rewrite everything.